or go to the next question, next problem with me. Not example 2 yet. I need to give you a couple more definitions. Go ahead and let's draw a circle on the right side of your notes. Give it a center. Hopefully your circles are getting better. No ovals here. No egg shapes. No footballs. Alright, I need to tell you what an arc is. And I need you to label a couple points. Let's call this C. And let's go a radius directly up. Call that X. And let's put a point right next to it, a little bit to the right. Let's call it Z. Don't make a central angle. I don't want you to connect C and Z. But an arc, here, let me see. Do I want you to write this down? No. Let me read it for you. I'm going to tell you where the arc is. An arc is a portion of a circle defined by 2 endpoints. So we actually have an arc up here. Here's an endpoint. Here's an endpoint. This is what we call an arc. This is a portion of a circle defined by 2 endpoints, endpoint X and endpoint Z. And the way that you denote it is, well, this is going to be arc XZ. I'd like you to make an arc symbol above these 2 letters. It looks similar to a line segment, but it's not a line segment. That's a line segment, and this is a line, and let's see, that's a ray. None of these 3. This is going to be arc XZ. Okay. Then we have something called a, go ahead and write this down, a minor arc and a major arc. Pretty simple here. Pretty simple. Now a minor arc is the shortest distance to these 2 endpoints. A major arc is the longest distance to these 2 endpoints. So for example, I'm going to take a look at these 2 endpoints right here. Again, X and Z. C is the center. Let's take a look at X and Z. I'd like you to put a random point over here. Let's call it Y. Now, if you were at X and you wanted to go to Z, shortest distance is going along this shortest arc right here, X to Z. So the minor arc, once again, is going to be X to Z. Now the major arc, maybe you can see this. The major arc, if you're starting at X and you want to get to Z and you want to go the long way around, you're going to go this way. This is what we call the major arc. Is it an arc of a circle? Is it a portion of a circle? Yeah, you bet it is. It's the longest arc of the circle. That's the shortest arc, the minor arc. This is going to be the longest distance, so it's the major arc. Now, the way that you denote it, you do not say XZ. This is, yeah, I got to put an X through it. That's wrong. Because if you're saying XZ is the arc, then you're saying, well, you're going from X to Z. That's the minor arc. If you want to go the long way around, you actually have to start at X, go through Y to get to Z. So this major arc is denoted as X, Y, Z. Starts at X and goes through Y to get to Z. Starts at X, goes through Y to get to Z. There's the major arc. It's the long arc. This is the shortest arc. It's any old arc, everybody. Here, let's go back up here to arc. Let's give a couple more arcs. Let's see. Another arc could be YX. You know, starts at Y, goes to X. Or you could flip-flop it. You could always say it's XY. Once again, it doesn't matter. Third arc, you could say YZ. You know, I'm just going to give you a couple examples of what arcs are. All right. And let's see. One more. We have something called a semicircle. Now, we had a semicircle on the very last problem. It's a half a circle. But we don't have one here, so let's go ahead and make one, folks. I'd like you to take this radius and drop it all the way down to the bottom side of the circle. Let's give another point. Let's call it D. All right, semicircle. A semicircle is an example of an arc, but to be very specific, it's a half a circle arc. So I actually have 2 up here. Let's see, I need more colors. I don't have as many colors at home that I did at school. I got a blue highlighter. Here's one semicircle, everybody. Hopefully you can see it. Half a circle. Starts at X, goes through Z, all the way to D. So here's one. Don't write this down. I'm trying to fool you, folks. XD. Now this is kind of some ambiguity here. This is some confusion. Are we going X to D this way? Or are we going X to D this way? That's kind of sloppy. Let's call this XZD. That's a semicircle. Or, of course, you can go the other way. You can go X to Y to D. Either way, it has to be a half a circle. Example 2. Example dos. Alright, WC is the radius of circle C. We'll draw a picture in a second. Let me move this up. WC is the radius of circle C. I'd like you to identify each arc as a major arc, comma, minor arc, comma, or semicircle. Then find its measure. Two-part problem. Identify it as a major arc, minor arc, or a semicircle. Then find the measure. This is something that I have not talked about yet. I want to see if we can do it without Mr. Kosal teaching you. I think you can. You'll see what I'm talking about in a sec. Circle. Not a bad circle. A little wobbly, but you know, looks like a circle. Put C right here. We're going to make a radius going to the left, going to the west. W, W, west. Let's draw a diameter going straight up and down vertically. This is going to be Y up top. There's X. Let's put, I don't know, let's put Z right here. Sure, let's put Z right there. Alright, WC is the radius of circle C. Yep, I see that. Looks like a radius. Identify each arc as a major arc, minor arc, or a semicircle, then find its measure. I got a couple examples for you. There's an A, there's a B, and there's a C. Now I want you to pause it when I put all these up because I want you to try these on your own. Pause it. I'm telling you, pause it. Let's start off with the measure of X, Z, Y. Let's do this first one together, shall we? Here, don't pause it yet. We'll pause it for these two. Let's find the measure of X, Z, Y, and I'll help you kind of identify where it is. X, Z, Y, X to Z. It's an arc. Y, measure of X, Z, Y. Alright, first things first. Is this a major arc, minor arc, or a semicircle? Well, we just got done talking about this. Everybody, this is a semicircle. It's half a circle. Plus, you can kind of see that from X to Y. That is what we call a diameter. And if you have an arc ever going from an endpoint to an endpoint of a diameter, it's a semicircle. Half a circle, we can see that. And, okay, find its measure. What is the measure of this arc? Half a circle, 180 degrees. All right, try these next two. Actually, before I try these next two, I'm going to make sure I give you one very important part of this problem. Put a right angle right there, please. Alright, let me write these down and you're pausing it. I'd like you to find the measure of WZX, and I'd like you to find the measure of arc XW. Get ready? Pause it. Pause this video. Alright, if you pause it, hopefully you have some answers here. The measure of arc WZX. This is kind of a tough one. Where is WZX? If I go W to Z, if I go to X, I'd have to go backwards. You're not going this way. Measure of angle, or I'm sorry, arc WZX is W to Z to X. They should have put a Y in there. Really, it should look like this. The measure of WYZX. That's what it should look like, but I'm just seeing who can stay with me. Alright, What do you think, folks? Is that a major, minor, or semicircle? If you put major, you're correct. It's a major arc. Now, the angle measure. What's the angle measure? It kind of looks like, well, since this red one is 180 degrees, and this is half of 180 degrees, that's also known as 90 degrees, and this is going to be 180 degrees, it's going to be 180 plus the 90. If we did another 90 right there, that'd be a full circle. And if you add 180 and 90 together, you should equal 360 degrees. But because we want W to Z to X, I believe it's 90 plus 180. How about 270 degrees? And then the measure of arc XW. X to W. It's this minor arc right here. It's a minor. It's the shortest distance between these two endpoints on the portion of the circle. And it's 90 degrees. It's 90 degrees. Alright. Flipping my page. Make a squiggle. I got a